Approximately 32 seconds of startup. Why would the goddess need the land dwellers' help? She's a goddess! She could imprison these monsters herself! The imprisonment is much bigger than when Link fights it. Skyloft's color palette is dull and boring, and the pixels are too noticeable. Link must reach a really annoying distance to reach stuff on the shelf since 2 tables are in the way. Character oversleeps on a very important day cliché. This part of the song must have been taken from Circle of Life and slightly changed some notes. I tried arranging those versions of that tune and I couldn't find instances where they'd work. This scene's heartwarming. Link's face, I think I'm gonna be sick. Zelda saved Link for once. Though falling for that long should kill him before he even hits the barrier. Zelda's a murderer. Zelda apologizes to her left wing before apologizing to Link, who she almost killed. There goes some brain trauma. Why does Trish have a Q-tip head? Character insults someone not knowing said person's right there cliché. It's cute that Groose likes Zelda, but this image is creepy. Their left wings came faster than ours. No wonder Groose thinks he'll win. This might be the only time in media where someone looks back and doesn't find that the person they're talking to already took off. Some ledges lack handrails. I understand people need to summon their loft wings, but shouldn't the edges be protected by gates to keep kids from falling? Where are the children? Why would someone put a boardwalk here? If someone trips, game over. This sound deceives you into thinking your HP's low. This water has no way of getting back here. How does it never run dry? Where's it pouring down to? Guess that's how Lake Hylia formed. What about me? I've endured a lot this morning too. I sometimes have trouble deciding on lunch. Does that make me a loser? How are these loft wings leaving behind different colored smoke? Loft wings are not planes. I hope they're not farting. Even though Owlin's talking, it looks like Groose's. Link's ahead of Groose, then Groose somehow got way ahead. Are these loft wing eggs? Colin's loft wings should dump him for scrambling their brethren. What? Why would you ever make a rule where the winner has to jump off a giant statue? That's stupid. And you won't even let him practice first? Darn it, game, you had to ruin the moment. Gaebora assumes Zelda survived a tornado. It took 3 years to learn how to pronounce Fi's name. Because I'm genius and made shields breakable, upgrading shields feels like you're wasting money on items. Why is Spirit so ugly? Love lets you dip your germ-covered bottle in the potions she's selling. Flying on the loft wing's too slow, the sky's bland and empty, the music's unoriginal, and it uses motion controls. To fly higher, you're forced to jerk the Wiimote up. Why not just raise the Wiimote? It takes 70 minutes to even set foot into Hyrule. You could have beaten half of the original Zelda in that time. Sometimes instead of actual advice, Fi says what you can see for yourself. I saw the change, I'm not blind. Is it even possible for the old lady's braid to just swing back and forth like that while she's sitting there? What do they do to the Gorons? In Ocarina of Time, they were cute. In Twilight Princess, they weren't cute, but at least they look cool. This one looks like Winnie the Pooh got hit with the ugly stick. I'd imagine the Goron would straight up own Bokoblins. Most of Gorko's new information is stuff you already know about Skyloft. This game's good, but it lacks the awesome exploration that makes the other Zeldas better than this. Creature thinks you're a monster who wants to eat them cliché. These Bokoblins hit this Kikwi on the head harder than we thought. How can it mistake Link for one of them? Machi thinks you want to eat him, yet surrenders instead of finding a better hiding place. Fi is a jerk to Machi. How does interacting with Zelda make him get tracked down as her? Do you really want kids to see this? If Kikwi can climb, why couldn't Machi do that to hide from us earlier? I get it, Lopsy can't get down. He shouldn't fit a slingshot that size in the butt on his back. This song's kinda boring. Now, instead of saving whenever you want, you can only save at bird statues. There's at least a decent amount, but the old save feature was better. I know Spider's still stronger than it looks, but to hold a human? Making this eye dizzy somehow makes it fall off. Your sword breaks through wood like butter. This heavy metal box only makes a small impact when it hits the ground. Why can these blasted Bokoblins use their weapons on tight ropes, but I can't? Even though I think Girahim's cooler than I used to think, I don't like his design. But I'm glad Link's more expressive in this game, not knowing the meaning of personal space. Seeing Girahim look practically naked, I need to wash my eyeballs. Instead of using the beetle to grab that heart piece, Link causes property destruction which could kill someone. This homeowner left the fireplace on and went away. Ah! I can't stand Rupin's stupid face he's making. It's ugly, creepy, and annoying. I wouldn't mind having to constantly return to Skyloft if it actually looked cool.
Hi.
Ow! My ears, they bleed! Someone call an ear surgeon! Fi apologized for interrupting if you already know something, but if she's really sorry, she wouldn't interrupt again. Creature thinks you're a monster that attacked them, then realize you aren't cliché for the second time in this game. As bad as the graphics are in Skyloft, this place looks nice. Link would fall over and slam his back on the ground before successfully running up cliffs like that. Link just fell towards this platform, but after being just a few feet above it, he teleports back up. How will anyone besides Link ever escape this crater? The ornamental skull is now bigger than it was on the Bokoblin. Is this black dressing person affiliated with Organization 13? I love how they made his text red when mentioning Impa, yet we've never seen Impa yet in this game. Impa jumping from this height and landing safely won't be explained. Is running up these sandy slopes possible? Are these the Bokoblin's homes? They must have several break-ins since they have no front door. These magmas are talking about the exact girl Link's looking for. Bomb soon destroy this wood. Get used to these messages popping up a lot, no matter how many times you pick them up. Link should get blisters from these rocky cliffs. This is an annoying shot to make. This magma has little confidence in the guy who saved multiple of them. Link is a jerk to let. What's causing this lava to erupt like this? Are there lava water jets underneath? Lava constantly flows into here, but the lava isn't rising. This lava snake passage thing gives me an Okami vibe. Don't know why. Linkiana Jones. This statue doesn't crack trying to close its jaw with a huge boulder lodged in it. If Skyward kills you, you can't skip this cutscene you already saw. Would have been nice if you could mash buttons to skip dialogue like in previous installments. Villain wants to offer a sacrifice to resurrect a demon cliche. Discount Kirby. Oh, shut up! It wasn't my fault, you old hag! There were enemies and puzzles everywhere. Beetle makes you reach super high to enter his shop. That's asking to lose customers. Beetle's face looks like he gets a sick enjoyment from dropping you out, potentially breaking your face. Link sleeps without his covers. I feel bad for him. Batro thinks we'll believe that. Even if he's right, that's as believable as the old "my dog ate my homework" excuse. They actually made the character mistaken for a bloodthirsty demon turns out to be harmless cliche, even more cliched by making him the harmless character only wants a friend. This rusted old minecart should be rusted to the tracks for making it near impossible to push. This cart could have bounced off the tracks and landed the wrong way. Sending an entire piece of land back hundreds of years is one of the most brilliant ideas I've seen in gaming. But why is Link unaffected? This robot's big claws aren't leaving any marks in this wall. A levitating minecart? Awesome! But that shows that this universe seems to be going backwards in technology. That kind of bothers me. These platforms don't sink in quicksand. Can grass even have skeletons? How is highly intelligent Fi too stupid to even know the word quicksand? Who puts tumbleweed in treasure chests? This Ampola shell seems denser than Link, so it would sink faster. Where's this quicksand flowing into? It seems to disappear into the wall. That big rock on his head should cause serious brain trauma. Climbing onto Ampola shells is annoying if you're running in the quicksand's direction. The entire Lanero mining facility raises out of the sand, but isn't as flooded with sand as you'd think. This game's soundtrack isn't as good as other games in the franchise, but I do like this song. Guspeller's wind looks more like water, especially since wind shouldn't be visible. This laser doesn't have the time shift stone and switch everything to present form. This section makes me realize, why can't we register multiple items at once like in other 3D Zeldas? I know something important's past this door. We've gone through these twice. Motor Rats must feel uncomfortable when one claw's bigger than the other. Nice room, but no one will remember it. Man, Girahim couldn't have had worse timing. Cool shot, but Link can't jump that high. Beetle lets customers sleep in his shop. I've tried going near birds, and they flew away once I came close. Groose deserves to be insulted like this, but the old lady doesn't know that, so that's very low of her. You can only play up and down on the harp. Have the designers even seen harps being played? What about Chicken Medley? Is that their best design? An avocado orca face? He's one of the easiest Zelda bosses. He's too slow. Maybe Groose could get here this quickly, but how did the old lady get down quickly? Guilt tripping. Scrapper's an ungrateful jerk. Get out of the way, Rupin. Scrapper leaves the base out, flies out of Skyloft all the way down to the cloud barrier, then here almost instantly. It's even weirder since we know how slow he flies. Then again, I'd give more since if we did have to wait a log. But I gotta send things. The goddess statue looks creepy like this. Collins helped Groose bully Link for years, so why should he expect Link to help him? There's an option to mail his love letter to a hand in the toilet. That doesn't belong in a Zelda game. Before you say, it's a callback to Majora's Mask! It's a sin then, and it's a sin now. These trials are actually kind of creepy, but you have to restart them whenever you get hit. How is this waking water draining and raising? Is there an invisible fountain and drain here? Is jumping to these vines even possible? Why do Skyward Sword's moblins look so terrible? That is the scariest snore I've ever heard. I bet the others must have nothing but nightmares with him around. Especially since we could hear Yerbo snoring all the way down from the bottom of this huge tree. I hope Yerbo doesn't toss and turn too much in his sleep, because it's very easy for him to fall and die. Yerbo looks odd from the back. Do we really need to go back and look at that symbol? I'm pretty sure it will be obvious what the last part of the symbol would be. This shot is beautiful. What is with so many creatures in this game and originally distrusting humans? Would Girahim be able to get through here without drowning? Is there a spare water dragon skill? And one of the Pirellas betray the water dragon and give one to Girahim? Link could easily reach through and grab him. Sure, you're hiding, but do you plan on being stuck there forever? If what the other Pirellas said about how they can't get through rocky walls is anything to go by, then they wouldn't have Shantae's mermaid bubble ability to get out. Craniacs look really dumb. Oh no. We're going back to the Skyview Temple? Why would you ever do that? Other than to pad out this already long game. Snowdrills don't grow more heads when you cut them. True, they regrow them until you slice all at once, but they should grow more back. These creatures fail at being Hydras. This Stalfos is rather annoying to fight. I hate these stupid combination puzzles. This room feels like a rehash of the Radiant Garden Aqueduct in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. I'll remove Sims for this creepy contrast to the rest of the dungeon, but I'll give them back because this change in a misleadingly beautiful dungeon can scar kids for months. Oh look, a treasure chest in the middle of a suspicious looking floor. I'm sure nothing could happen. None of these poisonous waterfall drops spray off on Link. This thread supports Link's weight with all these cursed bokoblins climbing it, though this part's actually pretty scary. If these bokoblins could climb this thread and escape, it makes me wonder how they aren't in the nicer part of the ancient cistern. I know it will ruin the surprise of the scary half, but they could have shown up in the nicer parts that are inaccessible until after seeing the basement. Was this song left over from Mario Galaxy 2? This move is so epic they had to blur it. Why are we telling Dodo to look for the party wheel? That's just mean. This minecart shouldn't be able to float on waking water, let alone land on the rails where they were lifted from. Taking off 2 Sims for this double claw shot segment. There isn't really enough evil about this evil crystal. It's so easy to get stuck in this part. Come on, Golo, it's not that hard to pronounce. Sweet Goro. If this is a bottomless chasm, where are these pillars coming out of? Sure is convenient that this party wheel landed in here without breaking or being completely buried, and it's completely clean. Dodo balls. Dodo must constantly suffer if he must constantly pedal to keep this super heavy shop airborne all day. There's an alternate answer by saying, your accent. That's racist. Skipper was thrown into the water. How did he not short circuit? You'd assume that's how he rusted up, but he even says that he searched for his crew right after, so he'd have to still be alive. Are these robots waterproof? This sand seed's a brilliant concept. Why can't we use this lift to go back up after we die? Look how poorly they animated this. All they did was just move the P-Hat's model up without even raising much dirt. Link has a limited time to how long he can climb, but not for how long he can hang? Oh, that's just cheap. Who would design roller coaster like minecarts in this dangerous way above quicksand? Lazily giving us a reason to fight Moldrach again. Vi doesn't know the percentage of finding a clue in the sand, when she could calculate the chances of more complicated things. Is sand like kryptonite to her calculations? I know something does happen to the crate in the span of hundreds of years, as you can see by the faded color, but I'd imagine it would be much more breakable. Ironic how you have to send Skirvo a shorter distance every time you knock him to the end. I understand it gets harder to hit him, but it's still ironic. You can even pick up dropped arrows that you've already shot. That's a great touch. Oh, you thought the cover system was only in shooter games? This shouldn't be able to lift Link back up. It rolls up at the same speed it rolls down. Hey, remember those certain locks from Metroid Prime 3? Let's have them be in a Zelda game. Did the pirates take out one of their dead shipmates' hearts and put in one of their treasure chests? This golden skull is so amazing that it frees this bokoblin in midair. Yes, Vi, I saw that platform move. So these platforms are placed in the way where they could crush people. Are people not supposed to go in here? Then why they place a ladder here? Pirating treasure from pirates. Before Link goes through the store, he is headed in a straight line where he'd be stepping over a crack between floorboards, but when Link enters this room, both of his feet are on the same floorboard piece. This is an intense skate scene. I never would have guessed. Do you really think I can't tell that the ship is sinking? These tentacles are pretty fragile. Hey, did you know Mike and Celia from Monsters Incorporated had a baby, and it was banished to the human world where it turned evil and mutated into a gigantic size? Well, now he's ended up here. Also, yes, this intense scene was caused by this derp face. Tantalus could easily sink the ship right now with you on it, but instead decides to do things the hard way. Slicing Tantalus' eye doesn't blind him. Tantalus' hair turning into snakes really proves Nintendo's unoriginality in this boss by watching Monsters Inc. too much. Better not tell Mike and Celia we killed their son. Luckily, the Sacred Flames platform wasn't doused during this whole shipwreck. Oh no. Please tell me they're not giving us an option to cheat on Zelda for this bland, ugly, middle-aged character. Maybe the fact that I used to hate this game was justified. These trials test your power, wisdom, and courage, even though they all test the same thing. Especially courage. And there's no real power tested in them since you don't do any fighting, more so avoiding. The slow portions make avoiding Guardians even cheaper than it already was. How did someone string this tightrope to here? Did they give it to a bird and have the bird do the rest? And why would they be here? Do they want people to perform life-risking stunts? Thank you, Fi, for saying something that the game just told us 20 seconds ago. Now go back to the sword and never bother me again. Of course she won't listen. We're surrounded by flames. They couldn't even animate Scrapper stretching his arms to grab the basin. Link's stupidly decides to skydive to the start of the mountain instead of going to the statue next to where he needs to deliver the basin, because whatever gives us an annoying escort mission will suffice. You have problems carrying this basin back to the sky, but you're perfectly okay with carrying it up this mountain past all these monsters. Why not fly over them? Scrapper says he can bust up enemies really easily, but can't since he's holding the basin. Why not just set it down, destroy the enemies, then lift the basin again? Gold, how dare you judge me? I thought bats hate light. I can't take that voice clip seriously. The enemies went through this trouble to tie this magma above the lava, but couldn't be bothered to drop it in. That's all it took to kill those magmanos? These shouldn't even be called mini-bosses. So we lowered this contraption holding up the magma, but didn't show how he freed it. Fake wall? What is this, Harry Potter? Are you sure this isn't the Fun Brain Arcade? This groupie must be sentient. It just jumped by itself. This magma's annoying. This lava's definitely scary, but it looks somewhat poorly animated. What could be so strong to knock out this whole section of stairs? And how would it benefit it in any way? I don't think that someone as sadistic as Girahim would talk about his heart having rainbows in it. It's not that lovely. Reusing bosses. How can you lick your blade without getting cut? Fi, you could have killed us. Luckily, the imprisoned never tried to break out when we're away. Now the imprisoned goes from being too easy to annoying with these shockwaves. And he's too fat to get around. Yeah, Groose, I'm sure you'll do a great job stopping the imprisoned, even though you have no way of hitting the stone on its head and can't really do anything except slow it down. Why are they focusing on Impa when Zelda's talking in this part? This face looks just plain laughable. The Skyward Strike doesn't get charged up when Link holds the sword up. What do you mean, pay the price for what you've done? You had every right to trick us like this. It was the only way we'd go on this journey to save the world. This is actually pretty moving. This move must be a pain for Link to use. This pumpkin minigame. This heart minigame. Maybe I'm paranoid, but the main character breaks something and is despised by everyone there, but eventually works it off and becomes great friends with them. It kind of feels like a ripoff of Pixar's Cars, which I hear already ripped off Doc Hollywood. Scrapper's a jerk to the Magma Elder, and we're jerks to him too for not telling him what we're doing right away. Why are you so sure it's the best pumpkin soup you've made? This fight's epic! Another Dead Man's Valley Zelda boss. Yeah, the soup brought you back. And Battleside Seth, but okay. We're revisiting the provinces again? This is why Skyward Sword's so long. I'd probably have had this video out by Halloween if it weren't for that escort mission. This vine part seems like it would be a nightmare for anyone. Tree of Life cliche. Thankfully, this seedling just so happens to take the exact amount of time between now and the past for it to grow. Well, it should mean that you shouldn't be able to die, yet you died and we had to revive your corpse. So now we get the Hylian shield. I guess that's an interesting choice for the best shield in the game, but also makes me feel somewhat weak since it was one of the weakest shields in the other games. Then again, the other shields in this game make me feel even weaker, but that makes Skyward Sword all the more sinful. Elden Volcano's scenery gets even more awesome here. This is kind of an intense mission, but why couldn't the Bokoblins just kill us while we were unconscious instead of locking us up? And they steal everything except our rupees. Shouldn't that be common knowledge for thieves? Luckily that Plat's got our magma mitts back and nothing else, otherwise we'd be stuck forever. If our magma mitts can dig through solid rock, why can't we hurt Bokoblins with them? But using the gust bellows on these lava chunks, we don't get burned in the face by them. This Bokoblin doesn't see you through the fence. Good thing the Bokoblins don't hear our footsteps. These convenient pea hats were positioned above this lava river. Is there any reason for the Bokoblins' horns to make weird monkey sounds? The Bokoblins hid all of your items in treasure chests, except for your sword which they just stuck in the ground. You're joking, right? This volcano erupted because of an explosion of your power? That sounds like a god that can't control its own powers. Stretch is a jerk to Beetle. Peatrice is Skyloft's most popular girl? More than Zelda? Well, I'd like to be done existing now. That makes it sound stupid. I'd gladly dump Peatrice, but can't they let us choose to reject her more politely instead of acting like she's less than human? She's an even worse waifu than Agatha. I don't want to be this rude to her face. Are you kidding me? We just fought the imprisoned a couple hours ago. Can he at least wait until we finish the quest with the gods? Now his tail can hit you too. How frustrating. They don't explain how the way to Groot's bomb supply crumbled. How would you have closed the gate leading to the woods by the time the water got in? You only just recently found out that it was flooded. If you don't do all these quests in the right order, you won't be able to finish the game because of a stupid glitch. And since it takes much longer to get here than to get to most soft lock points, I'm gonna add 20 cents now. Could the Grootinator even fling us that far? There weren't any lily pads in Farron Woods except for in the ancient cistern, and if they floated out, the poisonous water from the basement would have also floated out, contaminating the water, killing everyone. You honestly couldn't come up with a better solution for killing the monsters than actively endangering everyone's lives? I'd expect a god to sing better. We don't see if Ulu likes his new home before taking him here. This can't be every single gratitude crystal on the entire planet, unless this planet's full of ingrates. I'm glad Batro got his wish, but he still looks creepy. Guess he's perfect for Skyloft. Link's soft by his skirt. Oh, and you know the Ballad of the Goddess, this game's staple song? Yeah, we don't hear the main version at all throughout this entire game. What the heck? Something has a delayed reaction making it look like it's doing nothing cliche. Link just killed everyone below this. Part of me kinda wishes the Skyview Temple segment didn't look too much like the Ancient Cistern. I mean, it still looks like the Skyview Temple, but isn't there already an Ancient Cistern part of the dungeon? I don't know why, but I kinda like this conveyor belt segment. Because of a terrible design choice, it's possible to skip the Earth Temple segment. I also enjoy this lava river bit. The Sandship room does not look anything like the Sandship. What will the Skyloft citizens say when they see that their goddess statue suddenly disappeared? What if someone was by it when it fell? Of course, leave it to Girahim to break up the mood yet again. The only interaction Groose and Girahim have in the entire game is just one line. How did Link only now gain the ability to leave the temple in the past? It sounds weird hearing Girahim hear his own theme. Seeing the normal moblins here somewhat takes away from the mood because of how bad they look. Girahim had an absolutely foolproof plan of becoming invincible, but then messes it up by raising his platform so he can knock him off and break his armor. Some Buster Sword, if it can easily be broken, you really need to fix your eyes. Link's not a child. As cliched as this is, it actually got my heart pounding. You are not serious. You're really going to support the old newly resurrected demon kills his minion who resurrected him cliche? I never noticed until I scripted this how Demise must also be related to Thanos. Groose Ex Machina. Groose literally states that we only have a limited time to stop Demise before he consumes Zelda completely. Then Demise says that he'll let us take all the time we need to prepare for him. Make up your mind, game. Demise can create an entire dimension? His first phase ends too quickly. He deliberately rips off Thor. What's the point of having him fall if he just gets back up instantly? I neither like or dislike this villain, but I do like how he does admire your strength. Demise curses our descendants, so they have to put up with his descendant, Ganondorf, trying to conquer everything. But what about his Wind Waker counterpart where he was trying to avenge the Gerudos? This is definitely depressing, but only really because of the music. Otherwise, it's fine we're saying goodbye to, so I'll just take off one sin and no more. Impa has to stay and stop Demise from escaping again, but even Link had to endure 4 grueling boss fights just to keep him sealed, and Link's far stronger than Impa, so how would this be an easy task for her? Zelda cares more about Impa than Link and Groose do, so why is Zelda the only one not running to her? So the old woman that was helping her was actually Impa's older self, but that was hundreds of years in the past, so how did Impa live that long? Okay game, you got me. However, I have to give 2 sins back. One because Groose's silly facial expression here somewhat ruins it, and another because it's true that I was getting choked up by this scene, but then I remembered how much of an obnoxious brat Impa was in the Earth Temple. 34 seconds of nothing but the logo and background music. This seems to be a behind the scenes for Zelda, but that gets me thinking, why hasn't there been a game that actually has Zelda as the main character? And no, the CDIs don't count.